So, guys, this is amazing. You're in Singapore right now, Tracy, Aaron.
Yeah. Yes.
For 13
Singapore.
years, I've been coming to Singapore. You are the producers who brought me in. You're also professional speakers who run events. And we have never seen, excuse the 4 o'clock thing, because this was from earlier today. Every day at 4 o'clock, I go live. Aaron, you've been looking in from afar. Would you please let people know that we have literally had not less than 350 to 400 every day for 2.5, 3 hours, sometimes a little bit longer, depending upon something special. And I've been showing them the zero to hero process. Tracy, you might want to temporarily mute just because I think you got some peripheral noise there, but we'll bring Tracy in a minute here. And what I want people to know is we've never seen responses this emotional unless they're at a live event. We've never seen people having this kind of profound breakthrough unless they're at a live event. And we're now realizing that the zero to hero process, which is allowing people to see how I took Jeff Weatherford, who had no money, lost his gig. This whole pandemic has put most of the world out of work, quarantined, and he makes $15,000 in 5 days. You were there, Aaron. I did it for free.
Yes, I witnessed my own eyes.
Showed the process. Tracy was there as well. Then I decided, wait a minute. I gave it away as a gift. And I said, what if I were to take this, not just 3 days, what if I teach them the whole process without a website, without a URL, without even an email address starting out, no applications that they have to buy, no programs they have to buy, no knowledge of technology. They could be a newbie. If they have an iPad or a PC of some kind, no matter how old, they can do it because it's so basic. Aaron, literally, I don't show them funnels. I don't teach them to build a site. I show them how to build a real membership. And Eunice is here. Eunice is here right here. Johan is here right now. Kendall Alexandria is here. And they've been following this process. Aaron, would you give people some idea of the emotional transformation you're watching people go through? And they're not even talking about the money. Like they know they're going to make money if they make the moves.
Absolutely.
You know,
I have been following these things for like this program 7 days. Before that, Jeff Waterford already 3 days. So we proved the concept works. And the people that I personally witnessed, they have attended even your master class. They come back, they're so emotional because they're seeing the process step by step to make it work. For example, I saw Elizabeth eyes pop up. And actually, I myself, I'm doing that process because you make it so simple. And actually, make it happen. I've done the Facebook group page. I'm writing my cover of the book. I'm using the concept that you shared, the language. I put that into action. Very emotional.
Joel Tan's tuning in. Agnes, how amazing is it, Tracy, that people learn to write a book without having to write a single word? I give them my magic 9 questions, and it turns it into a sales mechanism that will actually generate. You know what, Tracy? Yeah, you got some noise there. I think I'm sorry, Tracy. Tracy just got a lot of peripheral noise there in Singapore where she's located in the building. Aaron, how amazing is it when people are able to generate their book, create a membership site without breaking any rules in Facebook, create this free group page. I call it the banner, the book, and the backstory. The banner, the book, and the backstory. I teach them these 3 things, but Aaron, would you give people some idea of the skills I'm teaching? They're learning how to teach. They're learning how to develop their message. They're learning how to create a true message to market match that is congruent with their beliefs, completely authentic and moral and integrity based. They're learning something that they'll carry forward beyond this pandemic scenario, which is out of control because the media is creating a level of fear that is disproportionate with the reality of what is very bad, very, very bad and very painful for people. But we didn't have to shut down the world.
All right.
So I'm helping people do something they really can do. I did it for free. And now we're allowing them to invest, like a bag of groceries, dinner for two in a bad restaurant, mediocre restaurant. And if you see the results, like if you guys are watching, let me just show them this thing because this is crazy. The comments that are made here are absolutely astounding. In fact, I'm gonna rewind those right now. I'm gonna start them up again.
One of the things that differentiate you with the rest is that you're not sharing theory. You prove in the live audience that it works, and it makes the step so simple that whatever their knowledge, their experience, they can do it. Because I think the important thing is a lot of people learn many different things, a lot of high level advanced things, but they now got the permission to be able to do it themselves.
Exactly.
That is power.
I want people to ignore the 4 o'clock. That's when we start every day for the people that are enrolled in the program. The only reason I went from free, because Aaron, you were there, Tracy was there.
Yeah.
For 3 days, I took someone from zero to hero, no finances, literally took them from zero to hero live with 350 plus people in attendance. He made over $15,000. Actually got the cash, ran around to the banks with rubber gloves on and with a mask on because we wanted to show the results. That's what he did in the first 5 days, Jeff Weatherford. And he had would you please, Aaron, verify? He had no web presence, no knowledge of how to use Zoom or Microsoft anything. He absolutely was a zero with technology other than making a phone call. He knew how to use the cell phone.
No website. He don't even have a website. Nothing.
He didn't know what his passion was. He didn't even know what his purpose was going to be. He had no idea what he was going to be able to do. And in the first 5 days, he made $15,000. And I taught everyone every move. I gave them all the templates, all the boilerplates, everything. And then I did it again. I decided to do it again because there was a demand. And they said, Joel, would you actually coach us? Would you actually mentor us through the process? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I've done here. Now, there's Laura Howard. We've got people tuning in here right now. We've got Kendall, Joel Tan. Just want to say hello to you guys late night. Matter of fact, I'm still loading up each night because I'm building this as I go with over 45 years of experience doing this. I'm giving them innovative things that cost nothing. They don't have to buy a program. They don't have to buy an application. They don't have to have any technical knowledge. They don't have to know what their message is or what their purpose is. My process takes them. And even if they started now, everything is archived in order with all the downloads every night. And they could still be there for the last 1 week because it's 0 to Hero now 14, which means, Aaron, I'm not giving them a link. I'm just telling you that's what it's called. Right. I'm not driving them anywhere here. This is actually it is there, Aaron. It is there on this call. So these are my friends and these are my producers in Asia. They brought me there for 13 years. We're not broadcasting specifically to Asia now. We're broadcasting to my regular page and the 0 to Hero private page. Many of Aaron's students, many of Tracy's students, many of the people that follow Wealth Mentors in Asia recently embraced this opportunity. About 100, am I correct, the other night?
Now 105.
105 people just came on board, and they're going to be blown away by what they can do and what they can do for their families. And I did this again with Deborah, a woman who was fractured emotionally. Her back was fractured. She had 2 surgeries and a lot of pain and no money coming in, very depressed. And I must tell you something. We saw her transform overnight. We identified her purpose. She had no idea what it was, but through banner, book, and backstory, I took her through the 10-pick process, which Aaron and Tracy, I don't think you've ever seen anyone teach that because it's completely original. And it has to do with finding your purpose by going back into your history with 10 pictures. And it has staggering impact. If you're reading the comments of these, and there's Dan Locke, one of my students, just popped in there. I mentored Dan Locke. Dan Locke is world-class mentor, master closer, master copywriter, and a fantastic. He said, Joel, you're really the only one that I embrace. And publicly, he gave me his endorsement publicly. I would have kept it hidden, but he said, no, I learn from you. I implement what you teach me. Dan Locke does a couple $1 million a month. Alex Mendozian just came to study with me in Los Angeles. He says I'm his mentor for life. We're the most amazing people. I've had the opportunity to train. Russell Brunson literally based some of his principles for the perfect webinar based upon what I taught him years ago as a student. So guys, these people are learning from actual source of the information and a very unique process that guys, I'm almost 60 years old. I was doing this stuff before there was a friggin' internet. I look at digital marketing differently, Aaron, don't I? I really do.
Very different.
I'm not a traditional digital marketer. I don't do what everyone else is doing. I said, people are in trouble right now and they don't have any money. So let me create a process that doesn't require any money. And they can still, they're actually ready to monetize in less than 14 days. Look, guys, we're not going to make this a late night. I still got to load them up and get everything ready and get ready for tomorrow. But I just wanted to let everyone know how honored I am to have Tracy, Aaron, you guys are married. You have residences in Malaysia, Singapore. You serve the people of Thailand from a position of love. Their economy is damaged. The Malaysia economy is seriously, the Malaysian ringgit has been so devaluated. It's very upsetting. In Singapore, the Singapore dollar has been seriously impacted. And of course, the true value of the US dollar isn't what it used to be either. We are seeing times we've never seen globally. And Aaron teaches a process online which allows someone to work from their home or anywhere they happen to be, when to get in, when to get out, using a revolutionary and really, I call it a scientifically based system because it doesn't let you make an emotional move. It lets you make the right moves. And he's been doing this for years. It is the creation of a woman named Miriam, who's absolutely brilliant. And Aaron and Tracy are not like other producers. They don't invite 5 or 10 or 40 speakers. They brought me to Asia for 13 years, and their students in Asia are blown away by what I'm doing here for next to nothing. I mean, for the cost of dinner for 2 in a decent Singapore restaurant, that's how inexpensive. I don't even know if you could do that. And Tracy, when I come to Singapore, and I go to cold storage, I sometimes spend on a bag of groceries with avocados, with fresh fruit, with a source of protein, with almond milk. I have spent well over 100 Singapore dollars. And right now at this moment, I wasn't even charging that, giving people the world. And this process will eventually sell for $2,000 to $5,000 or more US dollars. I am helping people now, not taking advantage. Aaron and Tracy insisted I make this available a few nights ago. And you guys have never offered anything that we were literally losing money on. This is an altruistic effort. They spend more on Facebook advertising for the average speaker than we could have possibly made. So why are we doing it? Does it build confidence? Does it generate leads? Sure. Does it help people? That's why we're doing it. It helps people in a very big way. And Wealth Mentors has dedicated their entire business to putting humanity above the dollar. And they've been operating a restaurant called
Loving Hut.
I was going to say the Love Hut, but that sounds like a different kind of restaurant. Loving Hut. And Tracy, very often you tell me that because of the expense of the food and the expense of personnel and the expense of the property, There are months where you lose money, but you wanted to make sure that the highest quality vegan consciousness food was available. And so a lot of the things they do don't have anything to do with money. They give back to the community. I'm very proud to have them on board for the Zero to Hero and to bring it worldwide, which we've done for many, many years. So these are just some of the comments. And I just want people to know that if they want to find out more, they can't get in right now because the private Facebook group page is closed, but they can send an inquiry to Brianna at joelbauer.com or literally go to joelbauer.com, Zero to Hero now 14. Now understand something here. The price of this thing is going to double very shortly in about just over a week. And then it will double and double and double and double and double. And then it will be where it should be. Aaron, would you please confirm you've never seen me at my level of teaching and with the results I generate? Tracy, you've never seen me offer a product or process at the lowest level for under $5,000, $7,000, $15,000, $30,000, $35,000 and more in private coaching. Am I lying? Never. Never. So this is a really incredible
This is the first time.
Yeah. And Tracy, this is an opportunity for people to get online quickly, fast track, determine their message to market, not have to spend any money on programs or applications, and have the ability with total alignment, ethical and moral alignment, deliver what's inside them and monetize it online. Am I exaggerating? But this is a complete process. There is no upsell. There is no back end. There is no secondary gain. And I am not trying to sell, Aaron, any of my other programs, not membership, not masterclass. This is a time to take care of people. We're doing it. There's no hooks. There's no surprises. And I just wanted to hop online with you guys. And we were talking, we're actually preparing for a webinar on May 2nd, which will go live in Asia. And that'll be announced very soon. And we will then reveal this process. And it's going to change lives. This is going to be probably one of my very favorite things I've ever done. Making it incredibly affordable right now. Affordable, less than the cost of dinner for two in a mediocre restaurant, a bag of healthy groceries at cold storage in Singapore. Anything you want to say, Aaron? Because I think you're surprised by the level of teaching and what I'm transferring with boilerplates, templates, downloads, Q&A sessions, 1.5 to 2 hours, solid teaching every day. Everything from how to teach online, how to coach, how to monetize, how to make the offer, how to close, how to turn a Facebook group page into a membership, how to literally determine the message to market match, create your backstory, figure out what your purpose is. And I do it at very deep level. Would you comment on that deep level?
Actually, whatever you promise, you over deliver as usual. And this time, what actually matters is right now, you put in the effort and time in front of a live audience and allow someone like Jeff or Deborah to do the work and actually show the results. And actually, both of them that you show, that you selected, they came in because they volunteer and willing to do the work, step by step. And all the other people who do the work, they get the result. Of course, if they don't do anything and then just pile aside, nothing will happen. You put your hearts out to let them do the process. I know it for sure. I was doing the work, so I see the result. I'm also been motivated, and I've been actually inspired by many people who have challenges on technical, computer, laptop, and even show how to use a WhatsApp to do recording for free.
I show them how to write a book. Aaron, would you please confirm that there's a very well-known speaker who comes to Asia, works all over the world. His name is identical to yours. And we're not going to use his last name. He charges $30,000. I teach them as a part of this process for free how to generate their book a book that actually sells, a book that actually introduces their story, a book that is personal and emotional, and yes, can generate revenue. It's also designed as a gift they give away, which is the motivating impetus that brings people inside your private group page, and that group page monetizes without breaking a single rule of Facebook or messing with algorithms. Would you confirm this is a crazy thing I'm teaching? And they produce their book overnight without writing a word. They literally talk to their phone. Literally, they talk to a phone and it transcribes. And because they're answering these questions and having a conversation with an accountability partner, it spits out the book. They cleaned it up, throw a cover on it, add the 10 pick, which is their backstory, and they have this emotionally compelling package. And I give them all the templates, all the boilerplates. There's nothing to figure out. Aaron,
yeah. So not only confirming that, you not just show them the template, you show an example to how to even actually tailor-made for them. I mean, you can't do for everybody, but you're placing an example on few of them that's enough for someone to actually personalize and do it. Well, and actually, many of them are so happy that they have invested in so many other programs. This one make the big difference to them. Huge.
Isn't that the truth? Some of them said they spent $500,000 and have learned more from me in a program that right now is less than the cost of a bag of groceries with healthy food or 2 seats in an expensive restaurant or moderate restaurant. I want people to know something. My wife's actually upset with me because she knows how little sleep I'm getting and how much I'm giving and how much it's really worth. She knows that this is a $20,000 program.
Absolutely.
And anyone who trains with me knows that the difference between me and the majority of other marketers and teachers is that what I teach works. I omit everything that doesn't work. I break it down into a granular, simple process, and I hold their hand and I teach in a non-linear way, which keeps them enthralled. Would you talk about the fact that no one leaves and they love it? It's become a fix.
Retention power, tremendous. I would say at least 95%. Go for 2 hours or 3 hours because each piece of information are valuable. I mean, I'm sitting down. The only time I leave is to just go to the restroom and I come back very quickly, right? Because actually some of the languages, some of the words you use are very useful for my purpose, and you speak in copy. The words don't make sense. Okay, you speak in copy and go and reviewing every session on it. Will help me.
Tracy, tell me something, Tracy. I just trying to unmute you there.
Yeah.
Would you let them know, and I know you've got some noise there, but it's okay. Let them know that from an individual who teaches abundant consciousness and teaches the power of the mind and the body and the food that we eat impacts our lives, am I helping people shift their mindset while they learn to monetize? Is this a major developmental program, unlike any that you've seen offered online from someone that really cares, that's taking 14 days, holding their hand? They're able to achieve every assignment. Tell them how spiritually evolved this is, if you feel it is.
Yeah, I have been procrastinating a lot to do something for myself. So this is the model that exactly fit me because it's a system. It's so easy to implement. That's why I told Aaron I'm going to, although we are having a circuit breakers, I'm going to do the office alone myself. I want to concentrate and develop the processes you are implementing. So I'm very excited to implement my system now because I got so much to share this is the best channel for me.
Well, actually, Joe, I think what you share are very meaningful. I heard people give them hope. They were broken down to give them hope, and they can't sleep now because there's so much things they are doing so meaningfully. Not that they cannot sleep, but it is because of passion and purpose. They find the purpose and passion.
Stephen here says clear, concise, detailed, step-by-step instructions. Take your personal, unique talents and gifts, whatever they may be, and transform them You're an online and offline living successful business. It's that simple, that real. Do not miss this no-brainer. And yeah, it's a real, it is self-development, but this is a monetizing process for those who implement. And I keep proving it over and over again, not only with Jeff, with Deborah, not only with Jeff and Deborah, but Arifa, with Kyle. There are so many of my students that have already implemented in a matter of days or a week, already begun to monetize, some massively. Let's face it, $15,000 in your hand in 5 days, no joke. $16,000 for Deborah in new business and orders. She hasn't even collected all the money yet because she doesn't even know how to process it. And I'm about to reveal that in 2 to 3 days, that I even have secured and found a solution for that, where they don't have to opt into anything. They don't have to buy anything. And they've even got a shopping cart they can use that they don't need to pay for. And it's not going to hook them into a program. It's a standalone. And I figured out every solution, even though I teach normally high end funnels, websites, conversion scripting, closing technique. Guys, this is a complete process. It's a course, and it's a course of action called Zero to Hero now, 14 days or less, online, able to monetize without a website, without a membership site, without a URL, without a CRM, without a VSL, a video sales letter, without video production. And even if you think you can't teach, or you think you don't have a message, you are wrong. There is an audience for you. And I even teach them how to price. Talk about that for a moment. Talk about the fact that I shifted them, and people feel so differently about their personal value. Their perceived value has been amplified massively. Aaron, why don't I give you the final word?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people undervalue or don't even know their value. So when we did an example on Deborah, looking at how she is not valuing her services, and many other people who say that actually you have 20, 30 years of experience that you do it. When you do something so simple in 2 to 3 minutes, because of your 20 to 30 years experience, you make it so simple. You have 45 years of experience. That's why you can figure out in 15 minutes the message right away, because of your years of experience. That is the value that you bring it up front. It's priceless that way.
We've been together 13 years. I've spent an average of 2 to 3 months, sometimes longer, in Asia. I think the longest I've ever been from home on tour with you was maybe 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And we eat together. Sometimes I had an upset stomach, and Tracy would take care of me and get me herbs. And you really are my family. We work on a handshake. There's no written contract. You're the only producers in Asia that I depend on, rely on, trust entirely. And I'm just so honored that you guys are part of the process, and that we're sharing this with our community in Asia. I have more friends in Asia than I have in the United States. I have a lot of students here. There's an intimacy, and until my students travel overseas, and recently we went on a cruise together, Aaron and Tracy, called Voyage to Destiny, one of my cruises that I run. And we had more Asian students there than American students. They all flew in, and they had a great time. They partied, but they also produced results, and we built their entire online picture of how they would become the top digital marketers. Many, many, many of them implemented already, begun to build their structures. Others, some knowing what to do, but not necessarily doing it. So right now we have the time to help people. And my wife and I, we're home, but our business runs from the home. We don't have to go to a building or an office. We have offices right here. And, we're watching the world shut down. And it just gives me an opportunity. It motivates me even more to help people that are not prepared for this. We're caught with their pants down. And whether this is bioterrorism or the weaponization of the media, we need to recognize and realize that this can and will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this is going to happen again. And again, could be bioterrorism, could be a genetically modified strain, Could be just another virus that came from whatever. We don't know the absolute truth. There's a lot of distortion out there. But the one thing I do know is sitting there listening to television all day or looking at the internet is very negative. And the media is pushing this because they always push fear.
Yeah.
And they do. It's how they sell. And they're also told to push it. So I want people to know something. There's a shift. The people who are working with me every day are excited. And they're developing their whole message, their whole presence. They're learning how to teach now, make an offer. They're learning how to close. They're learning how to value their time. They're learning how to build a membership. They're learning how to generate traffic. They're learning how to take the graphics and the downloads and the boilerplates and all the things that I gift to them and just, they're learning how to take their pictures, strip out the background. I give them all the free tools. And it's literally, Aaron, am I exaggerating? They take a picture of themselves.
I use it myself. Okay, of
they
course.
drag it and they drop it on top of the screen and it eliminates the background. There's nothing to touch. And then they just drag it onto their desktop and then they drag it into PowerPoint. And if they can't afford PowerPoint, I give them the link for a free program that does all the same stuff. Doesn't matter if they're on Apple or PC, all the tools. And Aaron, they haven't seen the bonuses yet that are being awarded next week.
Wow.
Yep. They're going to be able to build their automated webinars. They're going to be able to develop multiple revenue streams. And for my masterclass students who are waiting to train with me in Asia and waiting to train with me here in Los Angeles due to governmental delays, right? We don't have a choice. I am preparing them through this program for those that are a part of it in ways where I get to give them so much more. And then when they come to masterclass, they do what you can't do online.
Yeah.
Which is they get to get out of their way physically and emotionally and learn the highest strategies that they're going to be able to implement immediately. So this is fantastic. I love taking care of my students internationally. And I want to thank you guys for joining me here. You're in the morning, I believe. Or you're in the afternoon now?
Yeah, afternoon.
Yeah. So let me see. Here in LA, it's about 10:50, about 11, 12:12. You should be
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah, I add 3 and you're a day forward. So since you live in the future, would you like me, Aaron, to tell you what the good stocks are?
Oh, I tell you. I'm in the future.
I wish it worked that way. By the way, that picture of me right there, that was me at 10 years old. My mother threw a dove in front of me and took one picture and it came out perfectly. What if this was the one move you made that took a lot of pain, eradicated it, gave you clarity, and you're able to deliver something from within you, the book from within, the message from within, the process, the products, the services from within that you can offer. This is what you've been trying to do, to have a digital business where if the world shuts down, you've still got online and you have revenue streams if you make the moves, because there is no less expensive way to learn this. And no one teaches this because it's so unconventional. I knew that I had to come up with a way for people that had no money. No money for applications, no money for fancy programs, no money for a CRM, no money for a website, no money for a membership site. And I wanted to make the money using these techniques, and then they can do a build out and automate their process as well. But this is hardcore. So I am excited, and people are loving it. If you haven't been reading the comments, I mean, come on. If you haven't been reading the comments, here's Renat. Here's Rhonda Shear. She says, this is the best teaching I've ever experienced. Of course, she's one of my advanced students. She's a LinkedIn specialist. She doubled her income and can retire her husband now, and she adores her husband. And this is something she's really wanted to do. She found the answer through me. Israel is in Singapore, correct?
Israel, not sure. Maybe
I'm
Malaysia.
not sure. I think so. We've got a lot of people here that have been tuning in during the day. Look, I got to go upload now to make my deadline by midnight. That's kind of a personal imposed deadline. I always tell people I'll have everything loaded for them, because even if they're just entering in, they go to a special portal. I wonder if I could show you this. No, I'm not going to show it to you here, but it's a special portal. And each night are downloads, bonuses, all kinds of incredible things. And the whole replay, there's no way to miss it. Even if they had an emergency, it's there every night and they can study during the day. I open up for a separate Q&A session almost every day right now, Q&A. And then I answer their questions. Would you talk about that, Aaron? What's the difference between me answering questions and the majority of marketers that you've seen?
I think the question that you answer are very strategic. You want to make sure that you are serving the purpose of not that person, but to the many, and relating to the topic. And so it's very precise. And if the question is not precise, you don't waste time, because it's not going to serve the purpose of the many. So very strategic.
I take a question and suddenly people realize that it serves the many. It's not about that person. It's the question they may not have thought of that needed to be asked. And then I will go very deep, very often on the question and actually describe a full solution. And this is what generally isn't done. So the Q&A sessions are separate to the trainings. And then when it's necessary, I even do another video, short and concise, on the tactical and technical, which is super simple. I am not a technician. I made it real simple for people. Then there's a download whenever I want them to have boilerplates and templates that I've designed to save them huge amounts of time and money. So this process is incredibly well thought out. And I'm honored to not only have helped Jeff Weatherford, but also the amazing Deborah Hanson, who has over $16,000 in new business in 3 days. Jeff did 15,000 in 5 days, proof of concept. And I even have that online with all 10 and a half hours of what I originally taught in 3 days. Now we have the elaborate version where there's no confusion. And I move at the speed of your consumption. Aaron and Tracy, I want to thank you for joining me here. We were having a meeting and I said, why don't we just jump online and, talk to people and see how they're doing, and just let them know that something's happening every day with generally 375 to 400 people live. That'll become a product at the end of 7 more days, 14 days, and then it's automated. But if you want to be part of the live action and you want to be able to ask questions potentially, because they take quite a few every day, and you want to be part of the live immersion of this training, then you really need to tune in, because you'll see me continuing to transform the lives of men and women like you, with families like yours, who need answers to leverage themselves financially. So when this happens again, it will not impact them derogatorily. Nothing. It doesn't matter what happens. It does matter. Of course it matters, but your income still comes in. You're a digital marketer. You should be doing 60, 70, 80% of your income as a digital marketer. This is 0 to hero. Now, 14 days or less able to monetize online without a website, without a CRM, without a membership site, without a VSL, a video sales letter, without any advanced programs or applications. Everything for free. I show you how to do that. And then you can carry it forward after this pandemic is over. And there's a degree of restoration and normalization from Singapore to Malaysia to the continental contiguous United States. So I am honored to be doing this. And I love the fact that I'm prepared to do this, because this is like breathing for me. I'm not saying there's no energy in it. Oh my God, there's tremendous effort in the preparation. And Aaron knows, because I've been training people in Asia for 13 years, and you guys have observed my level of preparation and commitment.
Absolutely.
And I've never talked to you guys about money. I never asked you, what did I make? Like the other night, I said to you, how many people are onboarding so we can take care of them? Yep. I didn't care about the money. What I cared about was making sure that they were immediately in the system, immediately there to access the training, the support, and the nourishing. I love you all. I hope
you.
you'll join us. If not, I hope you'll find someone like me who's giving a large percentage of their life's work for really nothing. It'll cost me more in advertising than I'll make from this at this juncture. This is a coronavirus solution to get you online, able to monetize in 14 days or less. And don't let anyone tell you right now that this is going to be over in 14 days. It's already been 3.5, 4 weeks. We don't know how long it's going to go. But as long as we're home, let's focus on what we can do and not what we can't do. This is something you do for your family and for yourself. Knowledge is supremely empowering when it is backed by action. Everything I teach, you're able to create an action for. Aaron, am I exaggerating? You never exaggerate.
Perfect. I mean, you say it works, and you're very consistent of it. So 100% correct.
And I've demonstrated it works with both men and women live. Yep. There is nothing to figure out. And let's just take a look here. We've got Rashawn and Candace. You know, it'd be kind of cool here. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to invite Rashawn in. And let me just see if he just hops right on. He's very low-keyed. Absolutely beautiful man. And I just want him to let you know that, like, he spent a lot of money on other so-called gurus and trainers, and he'll just tell you that what I'm giving away here is out of control. Aladdin, what a great name, Aladdin. That's a fantastic. Joel Tan. Joel's a good name. Hey, Joel Tan. And there's Ezreal, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, Ezreal, I believe that's someone I met through you. I'm pretty positive because I know Ezreal's name and have seen him on many, many trips. He's in Singapore, absolutely. We've got Tran, and Johan. Johan is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. When I met him, I shook his hand, and at some point, he told me his life story. He lost his hands. He lost his legs. But he's the most inspired, passionate, and amazing human being. I've never seen anyone absolutely more inspiring. Rashawn, how are you, sir?
Doing all right. Yourself?
Rashawn, of course, I have here the producers from Asia. We just happened to be talking about something else. We thought we'd hop on. Do you want to let people know, because you've been a student of mine long term, you've come to countless of my free events, of events that are paid events. You've been masterclass graduate. You know me behind the scenes as well. I would say that we're close to being friends, you know, which is normally not the case. Like it's very hard to make a friend with Tony Robbins, but there are certain students I just love and love your energy, and you're always so caring and so giving and so sharing with the students. Your expertise is people able to travel like royalty, able to take 3, 4, or 5 vacations per year for less than the cost of one. And Rashawn now is watching something happen with this virus he's never seen before. He's seen prices go to what feels like zero. And without the airlines aren't even charging for changes, most of them. They're not hassling anyone with luggage. They just want you to buy something because they're looking at being out of business, and we can't afford that. And the government can't afford for the airlines to go under. So we're living in precarious times, and yet my students are finding their answers. If you would, Rashawn, just tell them what you think of this program and what you know, because you've been training with me for years.
Well, you mentioned the word energy just now, and speaking on that, you know, compared to other courses I've been through, other marketers I've learned from, without naming names, you know, what you do, you over deliver. You provide very clear and actionable steps. You know, in other experiences I've had, it just felt, to say the least, dirty, where, you know, you kind of just get in and they want to sell you just an extra course on top of that, among other things. And, you know, I've taken some steps with what you've taught me already. And I'm so excited with what I'm doing right now with the Zero to Hero program. I'm up this late right now on the East Coast, building some stuff now. I mean, I'm seeing results already. I've had more people, you know, through your teachings, find me and invest in me with clear, actionable steps than I've ever had before through other teachers in years past.
I just invited Rhonda to join us as well, and then we'll literally if she jumps in here real quick, I sent her an email. Rashawn, you have seen me under duress. You have seen me, where maybe I'm not feeling well. And do I always give all that I have? Am I incapable, regardless of money? Have you seen me give to an audience without any secondary gain, where I'm just teaching to help them and I want to see them shine? And have you seen me be patient with people who probably most people would kick out of the room, like a level of tolerance? Because I have a lot of flexibility, having done this for, close to 40 years, live events, online, digital, having trained the biggest names in the industry, which include Joe Polish and Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen and Russell Brunson and Peng Joon, and the top female closers as well. Rashawn, comment on that. How much do I care about my students? And is this a thoughtful process, not rushed, but very doable, very achievable, very bite-sized, and very high level, but yet a newbie can embrace it successfully?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Speaking of getting kicked out of places, I mean, I've been with you to different events, and you're in the hotels, the rooms that are rented out there, staying longer than what the room was secured for, to a point where the hotel staff would probably get sick of you. So that's kind of funny. I've seen that time and time again. I mean, you give more than what you're asked for. So I think we all appreciate you for that, for sure.
Would you let people know here that the comments you saw made last night, I just said, guys, just give me your number one takeaway from the last 6 days. We weren't even halfway through it. Today represents the halfway mark because it's a 14-day process and they're online and able to monetize if they want to. If they want to. Rashawn, isn't that the truth? And Aaron, let's talk about that. Sometimes you give people all the tools, all the nurturing, and they still don't take the action.
Yeah.
But there's something special about this process. Talk to me about that, guys.
Yeah, I think the thing is, you make it relatable, meaningful to them. That if they do that simple process, just start off something simple. Don't have to make sure that everything is, you have to finish all the 14 days. Do one thing at a time, one day at a time. Like even actually the book cover, the 9 question, the 10 pictures.
I call it backstory, book and banner. Rashawn, if we wanted to pick the 3 things out of, Rashawn, wouldn't you say I'm teaching everything you need to know to be effective and launch yourself without confusion, without complicated software, without expensive programs or applications? Super simple. And Rashawn, you also notice that if they don't have any programs, literally, if they get degauls their computer and we're at ground zero and they could just click a link and at least get online, right? I even give them the programs that are free, tell them where to go, safe, and they're completely operative with all my templates, all my boilerplates, of which there are very few. There's 3 central templates that allow them to build their working desktop so that they can be a professional broadcaster. A lot of people talk about podcasting. Let me tell you something. Podcasting, everyone is jumping on board there. There's still nothing more powerful than being able to see it, hear it, and then get an emotional response. I'm teaching sensory integration. This is a see it, hear it, feel it process. The more senses we involve, the more money and the more profit my students will generate, and the more money and profit they generate with an excellent value proposition where they're never taking more without generating so much value and over delivering for the student that it never feels like a purchase. There's nothing sticky or manipulative about it. I teach them how to create automatic sales. You were there, Rashawn, I think 2 days ago. Aaron, you might have been there. I taught them a close. I didn't take one dime from anyone. But I taught them one close that generated a response of over $250,000, and I did not collect one penny.
Actually, it's not a close, Joe. It is an application.
Correct.
It is an offer. You didn't collect money. It's just an application, and allow them to. I apply. I put in my email myself. Yep.
Yeah, because when you hire me privately, I was teaching them how to monetize their time. Rashawn, you saw it. I think even you were a little surprised by the response, because I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that 100 and just about 160 emails came in, all serious, and they're sitting there. And if I wanted their money, all they'd have to do is ask for it. But that wasn't the objective.
Yeah.
That wasn't the objective.
Yep.
I am teaching people as a master closer and trainer of master closers. Let's face it, Dan Locke is one of the finest closers on the planet, and he teaches from a true knowledge base. I have nothing but respect for him and love for him. And I was so honored that he chose to train with me and to choose me as his mentor to share my ideas. He came to my masterclass along with Alex and along with Myron. I got to tell you something. Myron did, what's that?
Myron Golden.
Yeah, Myron Golden just closed over $4 million without a slide on a recent stage. He did a repitch for Russell Brunson recently, no slides. Wasn't too long ago, about 2.1 million. He's the best of the best. And the fact that these guys choose to train with me is such an honor because I love them all and I study their stuff. We are mentors mentoring each other. And Rashawn, you've been there and you've seen me training top people at my events that will fly in from all over the world. And so I don't think people understand that, you know, this really is Joel Bauer during this virus trying to get people to shift mentally, emotionally, physiologically, and empowering them at the most affordable cost. I mean, it's beyond, it's like giving it away. Guys, Rashawn, aren't you a little surprised by what I'm teaching for nothing?
Yeah, I mean,
next to nothing.
Already saves people money. I mean, like I know from the expensive video editing programs, you have an affordable and user-friendly solution to even, you know, the office applications, you know, the PowerPoint alternative. I just renewed my subscription. I think it might have been $80, which I would have considered your free solution if I caught you sooner.
You do know the free solution actually has some advantages and does everything Office does and does some of it better. And so you can, and not only that, but it comes with a free PDF program as well that unlocks, produces, and manages PDFs at very high. So guys, I'm all about finding people who have nothing right now or finding people who just need help, even finding consummate. Wouldn't you guys say that some of the world's elite marketers online could still learn from this program because they don't know how to do this organically? The majority of them, they think high level. Okay, I'll buy ClickFunnels. I'll buy Infusionsoft. I'll buy lead generate for this. I'll hire a team for that. Look, I do all that stuff and I teach all that. I'm teaching you the direct way. You're online and able to monetize in 14 days or less, taking someone from zero to hero in the minds and hearts of their children, their wife, their husband, their friends. It's time for you to access the digital world and monetize in it. And there is no faster or easier way to onboard than a process where you don't have to buy anything. Yeah, you're spending maybe the cost of dinner for two right now. That's going to double. And the cost of this eventually will go up 20-fold. Am I exaggerating, Aaron? 20 times its current. Like right at this very second, it's under $100. It was originally 50. No, originally it was free. Wasn't it, Rashawn? Originally free.
Yeah.
And what do we learn about free? Rashawn,
yeah.
Teach people here. What do we know about free? And we're going to end on this point. What do we know about free, sir?
Well, in so many cases, people who get stuff for free, they're not as invested. They don't have skin in the game. They're not as motivated to take advantage of what they're receiving. I mean, you've seen it yourself in your years. I've seen it myself giving away my travel info for so many years and other things. So yeah, that's what happens.
Look at this, Rashawn. Stan says he bought it at $50. He says best $50 I've ever spent. Stan,
Same.
Yeah, why don't you comment here, Stan? If you're still with us, why don't you comment? What is it worth after just 7 days? What would you have paid? And I don't want another penny. I'm just saying, what would you have paid to learn only what I've taught in the first 7 days? I want to see what he says here. Let's see if he's still there. I think he's, we've got Renata here. There's Stan as well. Stan says the things we need to do seem achievable one step at a time, and I can wrap my head around it. As I am as newbie as they come, really gets me excited to see what's possible this week. It's a life restart. If anyone wants to see the rave reviews, because guys, I'm not trying to make, this is not a money-making thing here. My wife and I will pour more money into Facebook advertising than we could possibly make at this level. Possibly. Hashtag Joel Bauer virus. I want to thank Aaron and Tracy because we didn't plan on being on this long, and they could have taken off on me. I would have understood it. And Aaron and Tracy, I want you to know something. You know damn well, if you ever need me, am I there?
You're always there. You're always there. You never let this down.
Have
Definitely.
I ever said, no, seriously, think about it. Have I ever said no to you unless I was on an airplane and I couldn't get an IP connection, like an act of God or something that, an act of Buddha, an act of whatever? I'm there for you. My wife and I adore you. They stay in our guest home when they're here. They have taken care of me for 13, I think it's 13 years now, not 12.
13 years. 13 years.
13 years. So Christopher Kavanaugh says, it's clear we're getting a $30,000 plus program for $97 at this moment, soon to double and then double and then double. Studying with Joel, I can see his influence on mega successful marketers like Robert Allen and Kevin Trudeau. I pray that they will let Kevin Trudeau back out into mainstream. A judge obviously was just being mean because the only reason he's not available right now is contempt of court, because it's just wrong. Let me tell you, you want to know why they put him away? Because he was teaching people how to heal themselves, Tracy, using things that don't cost any money.
Wow.
He was teaching people the natural. Now, you know who that hurts? Pharmaceutical companies and government. I'm not going to say anything else, but I just feel terrible that such a very fine man, so talented, he's still teaching, and he's not in a dangerous place. He's in a place where he's teaching and writing books, and he's had a lot of time to study and prepare himself. And from his writings, I think he's even educated. I mean, the most amazing guy. Over $3 billion in production, online, on television, a master marketer, one of my students. And when he came to train with me, he pulled me aside one night. I had all my students, Aaron and Tracy, you've seen me do this, and Rashawn, you've been with me. Christopher, you haven't seen this before. But I just want you guys to know something. He came into my room, and he was hiding around the corner while I was spending time with my students. And they were all crying. This was the last night of the event. No one wanted to go home because people love to work on themselves. And what he said was, he said, can I talk to you for a second? So everyone else left, and he was like literally hiding around the corner. Kevin comes out and he says, why are you giving away millions of dollars in information systems, tools, and structure that absolutely works? I've never seen anyone teach this stuff. Why are you giving it away? Why don't you upsell it? Why don't you charge separately for each piece? And I go, Kevin, you've been with me for 6-7 days, masterclass training. You've seen the level of teaching and you know my level of knowledge. Do you think that I don't know what you're telling me right now? Do you think that I don't know that I'm gifting them millions of dollars in tools that can make them the kind of money they can walk away from, never have to work another day? And he says, no, I know you know. Why are you doing it? I said, how much money does one human being need? I'm not motivated by greed. I want them to have the experience of their life where they don't ever have to come back. The only reason they come back is because they've succeeded and they want me to take them to a deeper level. That's all. Because I will move at the speed of consumption and give people only what they can handle. We're at 58 minutes and 36 seconds here. I want to thank Rashawn for joining us tonight. I'm so sorry that we didn't have Rhonda Shear. I want to thank Tracy. Tracy is just the most amazing human being. I've seen her reverse the aging process. She looks like she's 5-6 years younger. And she was beautiful the last time I left her. I know that you guys are also dealing with quarantine. And she's got some noise there. But Singapore, I really think, may be the most precise and well-run country and truly protectors of their people of any other country on the planet. And Rashawn travels internationally. He knows a lot about a lot of things.
In and out 4 times to Singapore. I love it.
Singapore has no garbage, Rashawn. Their garbage disappears every night and does not infect the air. You're not going to get bit by a mosquito in Singapore because even the mosquitoes, they did some scientific engineering, and as a result of it, even the mosquitoes are happy. It's the most amazing country. Their prime
I've heard some
minister
stuff, yeah.
and their minister of is he Minister of Affairs? I was so impressed with his articulation skills.
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Minister of Foreign Affairs. I would have to say, I wish he was my father. I would be a far better communicator. He was the most thoughtful, and he handled questions better without deflecting and without obfuscating, without not answering. He answered the questions. It was the most elegant communication I've ever seen. I captured it, and I'm sharing it with students, and I'm telling them that communication doesn't get better than this. I've never heard a U.S. president, and I've heard some good ones. He wasn't reading a speech. Singapore has amazing people, and Singapore and Malaysia were at one time one. And the only difference between them is management and infrastructure, a systematic approach to helping people. When you go to Singapore, you won't see people on the street. If there are any, hard to find. You won't see the elderly that aren't cared for. When this COVID-19, they took care of everyone, masks, and so much more. It's kind of like where you want to be. It's a perfect government, and they don't overtax their people. So I'm very honored, whenever I go back home, because this is my home and that's my home. I don't really comfortable both places. Can't wait for my wife to go there and be embraced by all these students who know so much about her. And she's always been taking care of my kids and our business. And she's come close, Thailand, and not too far away, but we got to get her there. So I just want to, in the midst of exhaustion right now, I'm just delighted to see you guys, and I really appreciate your being with me. Rashawn, thank you for tuning in. My love to all of you. Time to finish my promises before I go to bed and get up tomorrow, start all over, prepare for day 8 for the Zero to Hero process. And thank you all. Reach out to me, Aaron, privately if you need anything. Rashawn, same goes for you. To all of you out there, if not me, find someone that can take you from zero if you've lost your income or you're not online, monetizing as a digital marketer, to hero in less than 14 days without you spending one penny on programs or applications on your computer. They can show you how to do all of it. Make sure they can also empower you to teach, convert, close, language. Make sure they give you all the templates and all the boilerplates that you'll need to create all that, and make sure they teach you to make sure that you don't get shut down by Facebook, Instagram, or any other architecture because you didn't know better. I make sure my students are protected and legally compliant as well. They also find their heart, they find their purpose, they find their message, and they're able to deliver it. Make sure that those mentors also are teaching every single day, because right now students need some hand-holding. And make sure they give you assignments that are doable and achievable. And make sure they connect all the dots in those 14 days or whatever their process is. Make sure they keep their word. And make sure you're not spending more right this moment than what you would on an expensive bag of groceries or dinner for two in a mediocre restaurant. Love you guys. There's Candace and Lauren. Let's just leave on Lauren's comment. Joel's training is amazing and priceless. I'm learning so much and excited for what's to come. My mind is blown. I just bought this training for my cousin for her birthday. Best present ever. Thank you, Joel, for gifting us this opportunity to train with you. See, I really admire that. She knows that even though she just spent under $100, that this is a gift. I don't give away this kind of information for under $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And this isn't masterclass. I mean, there's a whole nother level, but this is hardcore. And this was engineered. I designed this for now, an immediate solution, and that would have perennial and evergreen impact. You can use this to carry you forward. Thank you, Lauren. And she's saying here, the opportunity to train with you and all your time and gifts is given. And I'm only halfway through the training. So happy to invest. This is an investment, Aaron.
Yeah.
Ongoing training. People don't realize this. You either give your money to the government for taxes or you put it in your education. But this isn't like college. This isn't like a traditional education. This is specialized and this monetizes. This is designed to monetize and give you freedom and teach you only the moves that work and omit everything that doesn't work. Rashawn, I want to thank you again for being here. Tracy, I know you got a noisy environment there, but thank you for hanging out. I think Tracy's been meditating in the background with her eyes open. Aaron, I love you. I love you, Tracy. And Rashawn, I love you. And I still wish that, even though I love my daughter's boyfriend, love him, I would have been very happy if you were a part of our family. I've said this countless times. This absolutely beautiful man has a heart of gold. He's calm. He's so brilliant. Like, you have no idea how brilliant he is. He's a problem solver, man. He's so fast, and he so takes care of his students that now fly all over the world, stay in the finest hotels at a fraction of a smidgen of the cost. Sometimes people can't believe what they spent. I've seen him score, not during a virus, but score tickets for maybe $99 that took them to Europe and back.
Yep.
I have seen him do it. What's one of the best deals you've ever scored for your clients, because you are an insider in the travel industry? You worked on the inside, and they'd probably like to put you in jail because you teach things you're not supposed to teach.
My original book had the subtitle, secrets that they don't want you to know about, which, I had to pull back from that. But anyways, to answer your question without digressing too much, I mean, before the price drops of pandemics and stuff, I mean, one woman, she went to the Bahamas for $40. Another person to Bali, $600 off her plane tickets, like, immediately. I got a number of people just go upgrades from regular economy rental cars to luxury rental vehicles, no problem. Automatic status granted. I mean, how I met you, you mentioned, you used to, when you went to Vegas, Caesar's Palace and all that. Through my elite status at Caesar's Palace, I'm that high. I don't even gamble. That's another topic for another day. They gave me a free stay at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, and that's where I met you, at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, where I could stay there for free. You know what?
I didn't remember that. So I was there with Kevin Trudeau, training him and training his people for the Global Information Network. And I remember when I met him, and I said to him privately, I probably shouldn't share this here, but I wasn't impressed by some of the people around him, but I've always loved Kevin. Kevin's been 100% perfection in my life. And I said, why do you surround yourself with some of these people? And he said, Joel, it takes all kinds to run an operation of this size. And we're scaling this to help a lot of people. And there's truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that. And I understood that. And he didn't argue with me. He said, I get it. But he said, Joel, you're with me. And that's how I felt. I'm with you. So I serve Kevin. I serve the people that I ethically and morally align with. But the very moment that Kevin, against his will, was pulled out of the picture, I removed myself from the picture. And that doesn't mean it's not incredible, because it's a fantastic organization, and the information at the baseline is Kevin Trudeau. But understand something, I will only work with and serve those I trust and believe in. And I ask the same of my students. We're not teaching them to sell to everyone. We're teaching them to have people apply. My process is people request your services. You decide who you want to serve. And that changes the entire process. It's not a sales pitch. It's like a college receiving applications that people are paying to apply for that college, and they decide who they serve. So this is not about you minimizing, marginalizing, mitigating your value. This is about amplifying your value. This is a life changer, guys. It's a life changer. And I know we've been together an hour and 9 minutes here. So we're going to take off, and I love you all. Aaron, reach out anytime. Tracy, always here. Rashawn. And for you guys still here, Lauren, Eunice, love Eunice. Do you remember Eunice, guys?
Yeah.
She was in Indonesia with us.
Yep.
At a fantastic masterclass. And then she took the 2 or 3 day, it was like a closer 12 or closer 15, yep, where I got to work on shifting them emotionally and addressing any concern they had. What an amazing woman. And she had some real challenges then, and it really helped her. You've all got some challenges now, and your challenge is, how do you get online, and how do you sort, sift, and separate through all the confusion? How do you get through all the misrepresentation and all the delusion and all the lies and all the downloads and all the people offering part of a solution, but not the whole solution? And how do you know who to embrace at this time where they can't even tell you about their results in their advertising because of all the algorithm changes and all the rules? So even honest marketers who want to show you the results are being limited. Isn't that true, Aaron? There's all kinds of limitations. You're dealing with the most confusing marketplace we've ever seen, with the most desperate people we've ever seen. So when you find someone like myself with a track record who really doesn't need the friggin' money, and that person's practically giving away something for under $100 at this moment, you got to ask yourself, why? Because I sell high ticket. I can spend the same amount of energy here selling a $10,000 or $20,000 product, or a five. A five would be easy. A two, a joke. Why am I doing this? Time to give back. And the second we have restoration and normalization, and the weaponization of the media kind of drifts down, the second things normalize to a degree, though they'll never be normal again, but they'll be more normal. The second we get back to that, that's when my price goes through the roof. And that's only fair. This is my life's work. It's a big deal. Love you all. Thank you all for being here. Bye for now.
Bye.
My pleasure.